Okay, today's book review is for Beautiful You by Palahniuk. I think that's how you say his name right. I never seem to say his name right. But this book, I had went into it with high hopes because I liked Fight Club and Haunted. Haunted was one of the craziest books I'd ever read, but I really enjoyed it. And so I went in, to Beautiful You thinking it was going to be this great satire on 50 Shades of Grey, Twilight, both which I'm not ashamed to say that I read. I like them in their own merits. Are they the best books in the world? Absolutely not. And I also don't think they're the worst books in the world. I think you could do a lot worse. So I went in, just looking for a satirical and what I found, I think, was something that was very problematic. I think it was a book that was very derogatory towards women. I don't have the book with me because I gave it back to the library as quickly as possible. Excuse me, I'm getting a cold, so I was behind on my video reviews. I said, let me go ahead and make one before my voice totally goes out. But anyway, this book is about a young woman, much like 50 Shades of Grey, who trips and falls over a billionaire. He whisks her off in his billion-dollar plane to some island somewhere, and he starts practicing sex toys on her. He's created this line of sex toys, and he practices on her, and the sex scenes are meant to be clinical and clunky, and this part was okay to me because it was satirical to probably how badly written they were in 50 Shades of Grey. The problem came in maybe about 20 pages around when I was reading it, and I noticed, that he went to describe the main character's roommates, and the descriptions were very stereotypical, like a quiet Asian and a feisty Hispanic, and I thought that was just derogatory. To me, it didn't even have any satirical meaning. It just felt extremely derogatory, and yeah, I thought it was unnecessary, and it turned me off. That was only 20 pages in. But I put that behind me. I said, okay, that was strange. And it does happen later. There's a character named Monique that becomes her roommate. Monique also has roommates. The way her roommates are described as stereotypical, the way Monique is presented as stereotypical. I get that everyone in this book kind of has a stereotypical manner, but to me, satire should go a little deeper than just hitting main stereotypes and leaving it there. It really doesn't give it time to expound into those stereotypes, so the characters just come off as one-dimensional stereotypes and not parts of a satirical puzzle. I could get past certain parts in the book that were clearly, satirical, but it was building on me that the book's message seemed to be that if women, were too concerned with their sexual pleasure, whether it was through reading romance books or sex toys, that their brains could be manipulated and taken over, and that women weren't any good anymore if they were partaking in these activities. I felt like he was saying, well, if you read 50 Shades of Grey or you read Twilight, women are becoming these empty vessels, that are not good for anything but chasing sexuality and dumb literature. And I really don't think that assessment is fair. I know brilliant women. I don't read them often. I don't really like romance novels. I don't really get why the repeated formula of romance novels are so appealing, but I know plenty of women who do, and there's nothing empty-headed about them. They're still holding down their households, their jobs, their relationships. So I think that was a very unfair assessment. At least that's what I got from the book. I couldn't take anything else out of it because it really felt like it was battering women for wanting to own their sexuality, or wanting to read this type of book or whatever. And then the last, I don't know, maybe 50 pages, I just had to quit because there were these grotesque love scenes two women. And let me get this straight. It had nothing to do that the love scenes were between two women. I'm not homophobic or anything like that. But the way they were written were so grotesque and, again, derogatory. I think they were meant to make you disgusted. So then I felt that they were kind of stereotyping lesbianism, because the love scenes were just so derogatory. There was nothing attractive about them or even satirical. They were just disgusting. So this really would turn me off from any Chad Palahniuk release. Maybe Fight Club Haunted were his good days. He had some feeling towards women and minorities we didn't know about. Although I talked to somebody, who's kind of a friend of mine through Facebook, and she said, if you go back and you read Fight Club and, really sit down and listen to what he's saying, it's very problematic, good old boy buddy system kind of literature. And I got so much to read, but I'm kind of tempted to do that. So his ideals didn't just come from nowhere. I'm not even going to put the link to the book below because I didn't enjoy it and I really can't recommend it. It's going to get 1 star from me and 1 star only, just because as brilliantly as it's written, it's very problematic, and the things I think he says are kind of low down about women and stereotyping minorities, and the only people that seem to, get any vindication in these books are males. Particularly, you only see white males. So if you want to read this book, you're going to be on your own finding. It's not hard to find. It's beautiful. Chad Palahniuk, you can Google it. But that's it. I have kind of a cold, so I may not do my next video review till Saturday, today is Friday, but maybe not till Sunday. But my next one is an indie author's book that is the complete opposite. It's Silenced by Nicole Kurtz, I believe, and it's a diverse sci-fi. So if you'd like to hear a book review on a book that is the direct opposite of this in diversity and positive in its depiction of different minorities and different groups and everything, come back and watch that video. Alright, have a good day.